So for me, like the Caleb Williams portion of this, we'll see if any of this pops back up. But I feel like we're not going to have that issue with Ben Johnson at the helm. But again, let's get to this part. I've been trying to get to this part because this part I thought was a little bit more interesting. The Ryan Poles portion of this I thought was a little bit more interesting. Because I feel like how we've seen Ryan Poles go about the draft process, we've all been worried about that. How we've seen Ryan Poles go about the draft process, right? What led you to believe that Velus Jones was going to be a number one wide receiver? Or even a wide receiver within the top three? What led you to believe that Braxton Jones, not Braxton Jones, I shouldn't use that one because Braxton is a hit. But what led you to believe that a guy like Karan Amagaji, coming out of a small school, was going to become this elite level left tackle? Because that's how you talked about him. And I get talking up your picks, but that's how you talked about him. Like when I look at the draft process, that's where my biggest questions have come in. And while I do think Caleb Williams was the right pick, I do want to know that you're doing your due diligence. Again, though, these are scouts that are probably no longer with the team, that are no longer with the team, right? These are coaches that are no longer with the team. So maybe there is this, we need to shoot some darts and daggers at Ryan Poles as well because he's the one. But I thought some quotes that stood out in this was when he said, not once, sources say in the room, did Poles open up the floor to ask a simple question, who's a better quarterback, Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels? Says Jaden Daniels was clearly a better quarterback, says one scout. If he didn't want to go with Drake, Jaden Daniels was clearly a better quarterback to anyone with an eye. Here's my issue with that. Not to say that, right now you can't argue that Jaden Daniels isn't whatever. He's balling out. He's been in the playoffs. He's gone deep in the playoffs. There's something to his argument on the Jaden Daniels front right now. Again, we haven't seen this season play out. But there are people that had eyes who are scouts around the NFL that loved Caleb Williams coming, that said it's the easiest layup you can have to draft Caleb Williams number one overall. So a quote like that where it's like, oh, like he didn't even, I do want to believe at least that Ryan Poles was at least gonna go, hey, does anybody think that Jaden Daniels may be a better player? But there's something about being convicted on a player that it will bite you in the butt. But I would rather have a GM that's convicted and is willing to go down his path and is willing to go down. And it's not to say I don't want him to do his due diligence. I do. And based off of what this article says, yeah, Ryan Poles didn't feel like there were people that were better than Caleb Williams. Based off of what this is saying, Ryan Poles didn't believe that watching Drake May, he was going to be better than Caleb Williams. He talked about him with Drake May, said they made fun of him, says one Bear scout in the room. They laughed. The GM laughed Drake May off the screen and cut the tape off. So they were watching tape. So they were watching Drake May, and he didn't like what he was seeing. I would have been more upset by this had you have said, never at any point did he watch Drake May's tape. Didn't even know what this young man looked like. Didn't know how he was going to play. Didn't know anything about him. And then he ended up going to get Caleb Williams. Because we saw that before. We saw that with Ryan Poles. He was so locked in on Mitch Trubisky, never even went to look for anybody else. So for me, I'm looking at that, and I have my issues with Ryan Poles' draft process. I do, because I don't know what's led him to some of this, some of these picks where you just go, okay, that I guess maybe it'll work out. How many times have we said that about the draft? I guess maybe this will work out. We'll have to wait and see. How many times have we said that about a 3rd round pick, about a 4th round pick? I guess this will work out. We'll just have to wait and see. Like, that's the thing for me where I definitely have some issues, but also there's a new process in the building. There's new voices in the building. You can't sit there and look at the coaching staff and say, I don't believe that these guys were good and they knew what they were looking at. And da, da, da. The coaching staff has an input on who gets drafted. The coaching staff has an input on who makes it onto the field, who gets onto the 53. So your GM's going to draft based on your coach's input. My bad, did I say Ryan Poles with Mitch? Ryan Pace with Mitch. And so if you feel like the coaching process is getting better, if you feel like the coaches have better eye for talent, heck, the offensive line immediately improved when Ben Johnson showed up and Dan Rashard got in the building and he said, hey, what's the plan here? What do you want as far as an offensive lineman so that I can go out and be able to make these acquisitions? This is what we want. This is how we want it. Da, da, da. Boom, Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, Drew Dahlman, immediately. 3 offensive linemen that are better than dang near everything we've had here over the last. When did Mitch get here? 17? We had a solid O-line in 18. Last 8 years? 7 years, something like that. Those are the things for me that now it's wait and see. How much of an impact is Ben Johnson going to have? Because I'll tell you what, it's early, but Colston Loveland looks pretty dang good. We'll see what he looks like in real game. But just seeing him at practice and throughout training camp, he looks pretty dang good. Looks fairly consistent. Luther Burden looks like an absolute dog. All right, Breeze Nation, we got to take a quick break in the action to let you know that we've teamed up with DraftKings for today's episode because football season is here and there's no better place to get in on all the action right now than DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers can bet $5 to get $300 instantly in bonus bets and $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. That's right. You bet $5. Not only do you get $300 in bonus bets, but also $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Sign up with the promo code today, Windy City. Big thanks to DraftKings for partnering up with us here at the Windy City Breeze. Now let's get back into the action. Ozzie Trapillo, don't know what he's going to be just yet. Shamar Turner, don't know what he's going to be just yet. Haven't seen enough. Ben Johnson, the guy we trust, the guy we believe in, continues to talk about your 7th round pick, Kyle Monangai. As somebody that he trusts to give the ball to on a consistent basis. He said in camp, that's somebody that we can trust in fall. Ruben Hippolyte's going to be interesting. I'll tell you what, we're going to get an opportunity to see him real quick as we get to the injury report here in a second. But Ruben Hippolyte is confident. I remember we had him on the Chicago Bears podcast, and I asked him, how do you fit in with what TJ and what Tremaine are doing? And his response was, the real question is, how, in my mind, how are they going to fit in with me? I like that. And so for me, I look at, what is this new coaching staff going to bring to the new draft process? We'll find out this year pretty quickly. And hopefully there's some winning that comes with it for us to be able to sit here and be able to watch Ryan Poles over the next couple of years add to this team in the right way. What were you guys' thoughts on the Ryan Poles part of this article? Was there concerns there? Did you feel like, I thought, even the process being called a rigged trial, essentially. One of the quotes that was in there said, the quarterback process, I wouldn't even call it a process. The Caleb Williams draft pick was the most embarrassing lack of process, a fair, impartial process to scouting that I've ever seen in my life. There wasn't any actual comparison on a fair slate to which QB is actually better. They had it all lined up. Now, what does concern me is, and again, I don't know if he said this or not, but there's a part in there where I believe it says, if I don't take Caleb Williams, the media will kill me. If I don't take Caleb Williams, the media will. Knowing Ryan Poles and the draft picks that he's made, I feel like that's not how he is. But that would be concerning if that's what went into the decision-making process. KD in the chat, he says, so they got their guy. Yeah. Honestly, that's again, I came out of this reading the article, and maybe I'm reading it, in a different mindset than other people are. I'm also not coming into this article looking to be proven right or wrong on any of my opinions. I'm coming into this article looking at, okay, what's being said and how do we take that and go into, making a video and talking about the content and stuff like that. I came into the article not looking to validate or invalidate an opinion. And I think that's how a lot of people read this. If you came into this article already not liking Ryan Poles, already not liking Caleb Williams, you're going to come in with some bias. If you came into the article, I love Ryan Poles, I love Caleb Williams, you're going to come in with some bias on the other side of it. Dennis, the Chicago kid, he said, we look at Poles and blast him for certain draft picks, but coaches have to develop. Imagine Velus was drafted under Ben. Can we say 100% he would be a bust? Probably, because he can't hold on to the football. Like you can't teach. Like he's got a jugs machine. He's practicing punts every day. He couldn't hold on to the football. Like there's certain draft picks that it's just, there are things that you're not able to overcome. You can't get past not catching the ball. Tyler Scott, kind of same situation. Unfortunately, Tyler Scott ends up getting cut. You want to know why? Because there were better players out there catching the football. And even to bring him back to bring other guys back on the practice squad over Tyler Scott, that tells you all you need to know. And I like Tyler Scott. I think Tyler Scott has great footwork off the line. I think that he creates space really, really well. He don't catch the ball when it's thrown his way on a consistent enough basis. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Owen Spencer said, just Pat! But we blamed everyone but Caleb for last season. Now another report about his misfortunes, and y'all don't want to believe it. Didn't say I don't want to believe it. Didn't say I don't believe it. Didn't say I do believe it. And I'm pretty sure we also blamed Caleb for some of the struggles last year. How many times on this show have we said Caleb had these issues as well? He has to be better in X, Y, and Z area. Again, going in, hearing what you want to hear. I've called Caleb Williams out for holding the football too long. I've called Caleb Williams out for missing reads on guys that are streaking wide open. I've called Caleb Williams out for not getting into the huddle quick enough. Heck, I called him out for not calling the timeout as a rookie. Deep ball accuracy was bad. Caleb had his issues. The coaching staff made it worse. You want to know what I've seen multiple times in a NFL or on NFL teams around the league? Or let's just look around the division. A substandard quarterback that is propped up and made better because of the coaching process around him. A substandard quarterback that gets into a game and we go, oh my God, how'd he find a way to win that game? Because the coaching process around him sets him up for success. The Bears didn't do that last year. And listen, again, to the Ryan Poles part of this, that's on Ryan Poles. We knew coming into this season, or coming into last season, that Matt Eberflus probably was not a good head coach. We knew coming into last season that the coaching staff that you had probably wasn't good. Remember, we were all excited about the Shane Waldron hire, and then I got an opportunity to interview old boy that was from Seattle media, and everything he described was Luke Getsy, and I had to come on the show and go, hey, y'all, I think we just got Luke Getsy again. You had your preferences and you ran it back. We knew that coming into the season. That's on Ryan Poles. Coming into the season without a center, when you created money to go get one, without any guard play on this team, when you created money to go get one. And you said Coleman Shelton was good enough and Ryan Bates was good enough. That's on Ryan Poles. I have questioned his process in this for years. But just like with Caleb Williams, if Caleb Williams goes out there and balls out and this coaching staff looks like a godsend, Ryan Poles hired him. Ryan Poles put it together. Ryan Poles gave him the team. You can't have it both ways. Now, if they fail, we'll be right back here crashing out on Tuesday. Y'all already know how I do. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page if you have not done so. Shout out to you guys, man. We are, hold on, I don't even think I've done one of these up in here. We are over 100 in the chat. Over 200 in the chat. Over 300 in the chat. 300.